Filming this video now for the third time today. The first time, the video quit. The second time, I took 2 pictures of myself. So we're gonna go for a third time and hope this actually works out today. So welcome to day 4 of 31 days of vlogging with Louisiana Bride. I'm in the bathroom hiding because the weather is crazy and the light keeps changing in the kitchen and it's making me absolutely bananas. So what I'm talking about today is kind of piggybacking off of yesterday's video where I talked about how to clean your beauty blender. Today I'm going to talk about how I clean my makeup brushes, and I'm going to go through what makeup brushes I use. So first off, how to clean them. I've now cleaned 2 makeup brushes and talked through this entire spill with nobody watching. So I'm going to show you a third one. They're all going to be totally clean today by the time this is over with. Now, what I use to clean it is the same thing that I use when I clean my beauty blender. I do a little bit of Dawn dish soap and I do a little bit of olive oil. I put it in a glass jar. You can see this one's dirty because, like I said, I've cleaned 2 makeup brushes with it already today in my attempt to do this. I'll grab this one and do it this time. So what I do with it is I put this stuff in here and I just swirl my brush around until I get it really worked in really nice with the oil and the Dawn dish soap. I feel like the oil does a really good job at breaking down the makeup, and then the Dawn dish soap, of course, like strips it. If you find after you wash it off that you still have a little bit of oil in your brush, use some more Dawn and just rinse it again with hot water, and that should strip the rest of it off. When you dry it, put it on either like a dish towel or a paper towel and hang it so that the tip is higher than the bristles. You don't want it really going back in the other way. Now, to talk about my makeup brushes, let me rinse this one off first and then we will, so I can actually show it to you in a little bit. So I'm going to show you my makeup brushes in a bit. Not because I have the most amazing makeup brushes and I think they're like superior to everybody else's makeup brushes, but because I like to see what other people have. I only have one sister, so I don't have the benefit of knowing like all these people and see what they have. So I really like to watch YouTube channels, and I like to talk to friends and just see like what's everybody using, what's in your makeup bag. It's just a really interesting topic to me. So first up, I'll start off with this one. Most of these you're gonna see today are e.l.f. brushes. There's a couple other ones, but there's no high-end brushes at all. I wish this one was not wet so you could see what it's actually shaped like, but this is the e.l.f. Professional Defining Eye Brush. See if I can get it in there good where you can kind of see what it's shaped like. It's just an angled brush that's really fluffy. I use it in my crease with my darker colors. Next up, I'll save that one for last. Let's see. Next up, let's go with this one. This is my e.l.f. Professionals Foundation Brush. I don't use it for foundation. Let me turn it this way so you can see. It's a tapered brush. If you look on one side, the bristles are straight and then they taper again. I don't use this for foundation because I actually don't use foundation. I use a BB cream or just like a tinted moisturizer. What I use this for though is like baking. I don't know if you've heard of it yet. Baking is when you put in your concealer and then you put like a ton of powder on it and it's supposed to like warm up with your skin and just look really amazing. And so I'll use this so that I can get a little bit more precise under my eye and not have to worry about a lot of fallout, or if you're using a big fluffy brush, it's not going to be that precise. You'll kind of end up with powder all over the place. So that's what I use my foundation brush for from e.l.f. Next up is the e.l.f. Professional Bronzing Brush. This is probably my least favorite e.l.f. brush. It's just a fluffy, tapered brush, nothing too special. My main issue with it is just the fact that the pickup doesn't feel like it's even, and the bristles fall out a lot. I'll put my bronzer on and then I'll just see bristles all over the place, and then I spend a few minutes picking up bristles, which is less than fun. Okay, this is one of the ones I cleaned earlier, so don't judge it. It's not what it normally looks like, but this is my absolute favorite blush brush that I've ever had. My mom recommended this one to me a few years ago and I bought it at Walgreens. There's no brand on it. I can't remember where it came from. It's actually fallen apart a few times. Let me see. Oh, it's still wet. It's actually stuck together right now. The top falls off and I just refuse to get rid of it. But anyway, it's just an angled blush brush that's super fluffy. It just looks like this right now because it's wet, but absolute favorite type of blush brush. Fluffy and angled. All right, next up, let's go with my powder brush. This is my, oh, I love it. It's so soft. This is just the e.l.f. powder brush, nothing special, just your regular run-of-the-mill powder brush. Like I keep looking off the wrong direction. It's just habit to want to look at yourself on here. Here's another super basic brush. This is probably like a crime against humanity, but this is the Revlon eyeshadow brush from 100 years ago. There's nothing special to it. It's tapered. I probably should get like a real eyeshadow brush, but all I use it for is just my main color. I bought it at Walmart 100 years ago. I really should like upgrade this one, but if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Another e.l.f. brush I have, e.l.f. Professional Concealer Brush. I actually started off using this one as a under the eye like small angled brush because I didn't own a small angled brush, and I would apply my what's it called? I would apply eyeshadow underneath the eye with it. The reason why I started doing that, because I mean I've been a serial eyeliner under the eye person for years, and what made me finally stop was the Tati Westbrook YouTube channel showed that in a lot of her tutorials, and I loved it, and so I started using it. But I finally upgraded and got myself a small angled brush, and this is, while I'm thinking about it, the e.l.f. small angled brush. I'll show it to you. It's just a really small, thin angle brush. Can you see how thin that is? Is it gonna show you? Yeah. It's just really thin. I love it. Now I use this a lot to kind of make like a fake eyeliner line with eyeshadow before I put on the rest of my eyeshadow, so that I don't have to get too crazy with my crease and go everywhere. It's kind of like tracing in between the lines for me with that one. I'll save this for last. This is my absolute like beloved eyeshadow brush. Now, here's my one weird product I keep in my makeup brushes, and that is a toothbrush. And it's not even like a nice toothbrush, some random brand that the dentist gave me one time, because several years ago, back before all this eyebrow stuff was really popular, some friends of mine were using toothbrushes and like Maybelline clear mascara to set your eyebrows. And so we would put on our Maybelline and then brush up your eyebrows so that they were all going in the right direction, and that's what we went with. Weird, but I love it. I still use it, even though I have started using an eyebrow pencil brush. Now, last one, and it is my absolute favorite brush of all time, is my e.l.f. blending brush, and it's just your really pretty fluffy brush. I love it because I do tend to use cheaper eyeshadow palettes. I haven't spent money on one of those $50 naked palettes that I would adore. I would love to have one. I actually told Santa Claus this year, he better be getting me one because that's what I want. But right now I've been using the Maybelline nude palettes. I have the blush nudes and I have just the basic nudes, and I'll talk about those in another video. But they tend to skip. They're not the best ones as far as like pigment and having an even pigment distribution the first time through. So you do get kind of a skip pigment, or it's too dark or too light, and you have to really like try to get it on there the way you want it to. And so I tend to put on my eyeshadow and then use this brush to blend it out and make it look really even, and that saves me from looking like I'm wearing inexpensive eyeshadow. It's a lifesaver. And I'll throw in one extra thing just because I love it so much and it's standing in front of me. I thought my sister was crazy with this. I don't know if you've ever watched the Dr. Pimple Popper YouTube videos, but my sister and me are like, well, she's way more obsessed than I am with it. But anyway, she got the Dr. Pimple Popper, the extractor. And I thought she was nuts until I went home a few weekends ago and I tried it, and it is the absolute best extractor I've ever used. And so I got my mom to order me one as an early Christmas present. It's kind of expensive for a pimple popper, but it's totally worth the money. So hopefully the video actually recorded today and I can upload it now. But thanks for hanging around for day 4 of 31 days of vlogging, and I hope to see y'all back tomorrow.